What is going on, YouTube? Today we are talking about the 10th story in my book, The Crumbling of a Nation and Other Stories. And that story is called We See You. Now, before I even begin describing this story, I must begin with a trigger warning, because this story does include sexual violence. And it is because of this sexual violence that I was a little hesitant to even publish this story. Because I can absolutely understand why there might be some women out there that are uncomfortable with a man talking about this subject, especially a white man who looks like this. But I felt like not only was this an important story to tell, but it is my belief that it is important that all people are talking about these stories. Because even though the victims of these stories are women, it is men who are causing these problems. And it is important that men stand up against other men perpetuating violence. And so that was part of the motivation for this story. To stand up as a man against the type of men that are portrayed in this story. But that was only a part of the motivation. Because in this story, this woman is attacked in public. And the horrible act is witnessed by dozens of people. But none of these people stand up to protect her. Instead, they just pull out their phones to record the incident. And this is another societal issue that I wanted to address in this story. Because while it is great that we have documented evidence of so many horrible events, I can't help but wonder what would have happened if, instead of just recording the incident, we actually stood up and tried to stop it. And while this story is one of the hardest stories to read in this book, I feel like it is one of the most important ones. And while I am not going to read the part of the story where the woman is attacked, I do want to read a little excerpt leading up to the attack, which again contains the topic of sexual violence. At this part of the story, our main character, Anna Lee, is walking across campus on her way to a downtown bar. And I'll let the story take over from here. Every 100 or so feet, Anna Lee passed by poles with blue lights repeatedly flashing at their tops. Each of these poles had emergency phones attached to them, which connected directly to the local police. They had been installed on campus many years ago in hopes of preventing emergencies of all kinds, mostly violent and sexual acts committed on female students and staff. Though Anna Lee had always thought the blue lights served less as a preventative and more as a reminder of the reality women like herself had long been forced to accept. A reality that seemed to say, we can't protect you, but hey, we see you. Anna Lee tried not to let these blue lights dampen her mood, but this deliberate suppression of reality only brewed more guilt within. It felt like trying to smile through the rapes that were never prevented, nor punished, and hardly acknowledged except with a few blue lights on campus. But what other choice did she have? If she dwelled on the lights, if she let them bring her down, then the men who made the lights necessary in the first place would win. She had to smile. She had to carry on. She had to. If you would like to hear the rest of this story or any stories like it, my book, The Crumbling of a Nation and Other Stories, is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and the TikTok Shop. And if you or somebody you know is a survivor of sexual violence, I will be leaving links and resources below. Thank you, stay safe, and I will see you next time.